Egypt hosts the Grand Ball at Abdeen Palace, marking its first ever event outside Monaco. Prime Minister Madbouli greenlights trial of Egypt's first high-speed electric train line. Egypt's net international reserves top $50 billion for the first time, hitting $50.071 billion in October. Egypt has hosted the prestigious Grand Ball at Abdeen Palace for the first time, marking the iconic event's debut outside Monaco. Organized by Noble Monte Carlo under the patronage of Prince Albert II of Monaco, the gala brought together royals, nobility, diplomats and high-ranking officials from Europe and Egypt. The event coincided with the closing activities of the 5th edition of the Global Hope Givers campaign, highlighting Egypt's growing reputation as a luxury and cultural destination. Minister of Tourism Sharif Fatahi emphasized that hosting the ball reflects international confidence in Egypt's ability to organize world-class events, while Egyptian Tourism Authority CEO Ahmed Youssef said it showcased the country's unique blend of history and modernity. Egypt has dispatched its 68th Zadalizer from Egypt to Gaza, 8 convoy to Gaza. The convoy carried around 8,000 tons of supplies, including 280,000 food baskets, 185 tons of flour, over 2,700 tons of medical relief goods, and more than 1,200 tons of petroleum products. The Zadalizer from Egypt to Gaza convoy, launched on July 27th, has consistently delivered thousands of tons of food, medical supplies and fuel to support the Palestinian population. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati has held a phone call with his Nigerian counterpart Yusuf Tagar to strengthen bilateral relations and discuss regional developments. The ministers highlighted growing cooperation in trade, energy, agriculture, infrastructure, mining, construction and pharmaceuticals, and emphasized knowledge exchange through Egypt's development programs. They also reviewed African regional challenges, stressing joint action by the African Union to promote security, stability and sustainable development across the continent. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati and Qatar's Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani have stressed linking the West Bank and Gaza to preserve Palestinian unity. They reaffirmed rejection of Israeli settlements coordinated on Gaza ceasefire and reconstruction, and discussed the US peace plan and possible international stabilization force deployment. The call also addressed Sudan, condemning atrocities in Al Fasher and urging humanitarian aid, while both sides highlighted strong bilateral ties and Qatar's investments projects in Egypt. Egypt's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has urged its citizens in Mali to exercise maximum caution and limit travels following reports that 3 Egyptians were kidnapped. The ministry advised avoiding travel from the capital Bamako to other regions. In a statement on Sunday, the ministry said it is closely monitoring the situation and that the Egyptian embassy in Bamako is in constant contact with Malian authorities regarding the safety of the Egyptian community. Citizens were also reminded to follow local regulations and carry identification documents at all times. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has approved the trial operation of Egypt's first high-speed electric train line, Ain al-Sukhna al-Alamein Matruh, during an inspection with Deputy Prime Minister Kamil al-Wazir at Cairo's Intelligent Transport Exhibition. The trial followed the movement of the regional Desiro train along the first line, marking a major step in Egypt's modern transport system. The high-speed rail network linking the Red Sea and Mediterranean. Madbouli and Wazir also inspected refurbished Spanish-made sleeper and club train cars upgraded in Egypt, as well as domestically produced rail components and Egyptian-made maritime units, highlighting local manufacturing achievements. Egyptians will head to the polls on Monday and Tuesday for the first phase of the 2025 House of Representatives elections. Voting will take place from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. across thousands of polling stations in 13 governorates, including Giza, Fayoum, Minya, Luxor, and Alexandria. The overseas vote for this phase concluded Saturday in 117 countries, conducted under full judicial supervision to ensure transparency. Nationwide, 2,826 candidates are contesting seats under the individual system, while the national list for Egypt runs unopposed in the list-based districts. The second phase of the election will take place later this month, with the results for the first phase expected on December 2nd. Runoff voting, if required, will follow in December. Egypt's State Information Service, the SIS, has established situation rooms to ensure smooth and accurate coverage of the November House of Representatives elections by 86 foreign media outlets from 32 countries. The rooms provide direct communication lines, monitor reports, correct inaccuracies, and support ethical reporting. Meanwhile, nationwide campaigns, including Egypt for all its citizens, encourage voters' participation and civic awareness. Egypt's Ministry of Health has issued 902,730 state-funded medical treatment approvals from August 1st till October 20th, 2025, benefiting over 806,000 citizens at a cost of 8.11 billion Egyptian pounds. To improve access, 2,045 cases were assessed via video conference, while 78,056 applicants were medically examined for the Comprehensive Services Card. Additional examinations were conducted for Takaful and Karama beneficiaries and persons with disabilities applying for tax and customs exempt vehicles. Egypt's Health Ministry says PHDC's 25 held November 12 till 15th in the new administrative capital under President Sisi's patronage will spotlight investing in healthcare as a driver of human development. Ministry spokesperson Hossam Abdel Ghaffar said the third Population Health and Human Development Conference will convene policymakers, financiers, and experts to link health investment with economic growth and human capital. Panels will cover primary care expansion, hospital infrastructure, digital health, and blended finance models to mobilize private capital with IFIs. Sessions will present Egypt's national roadmap for health investment within the state's human development agenda, stressing public-private partnership as a catalyst for inclusive growth. Egypt's net international reserves has surpassed $50 billion for the first time, reaching approximately $50.071 billion at the end of October. The Central Bank of Egypt announced the reserves grew by $538 million compared to September, marking 38 consecutive months of record highs. The CBE said the increase reflects the success of recent monetary and economic reforms and underscores the country's strengthened financial position. Finance Minister Ahmed Kojak has stated Egypt is positioning its north coast as a major investment hub following a $29.7 billion partnership with Qatar. In an open letter to investors, Kojak highlighted projects like Ras Al Hikmah and Alam Al Room as examples of the region's potential for tourism, real estate and service sector investments. The Egypt-Qatar agreement will deliver $3.5 billion in direct cash returns by year-end, alongside $1.8 billion in-kind contributions and 15% of net profits for the new urban communities authority. Kojak emphasized that the government is fostering a stable, investor-friendly environment through simplified tax and customs procedures, technology transfer, and measures to reduce public debt, aiming to establish the North Coast as a flagship zone for sustainable domestic and international investments. Egypt's General Authority for Investment and Free Zones, the GAFI, has announced Sunday that administrative headquarters for startups in the Nasser City free zones will be fully operational within 6 months, with plans to extend the initiative to all free zones nationwide. The program offers startups streamlined procedures, full tax and customs exemptions, and access to private sector support services, initially targeting software experts and artificial intelligence companies. The initiative aims to scale up startups and boost Egypt's GDP growth. GAFI CEO Hossam Heiba also revealed plans for an innovation hub for the automotive sector and urged collaboration with universities to leverage the EU's Horizon Europe program. Egypt's MS Meta has registered 18,000 SMEs since the 2020 Enterprise Development Law, helping them secure £1.25 billion in government contracts. CEO Basir Rahmi said new tax measures and licensing incentives aim to boost SME growth, formalization and participation in public procurement while easing customs duties, taxes and social insurance obligations. Egypt has exported 4,015 food shipments totaling 185,000 tons during November 1st till 7th. The National Food Safety Authority reported major importers included Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Sudan and Spain. Handled by 1,350 exporting companies, the shipments covered nearly 850 products, including vegetables, grains, flour, fruits, and prepared foods. Sweet potatoes led vegetables exports with 12,000 tons, followed by onions, 7,000 tons, and beans, 5,000 tons. Pomegranates topped fruits exports at 10,000 tons, with mangoes and strawberries at 5,000 tons each. Egyptian products reached 184 international markets last week. Egypt's stock market has ended today on a positive note, with all major indices recording gains. The benchmark EGX 30 surged 2.18%, while the Sharia complaint EGX 33 rose 1.16%. The EGX 35 LV gained 1.06%. The SMEs focused EGX 70 edged up 0.28%, and the broader EGX 100 climbed 0.67%. Egyptian football fans turned their attention to Abu Dhabi's Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium today as Al Ahly and Zamalek clash in the 2025 Egyptian Super Cup final. This marks the 10th Super Cup meeting between the two rivals, with Al Ahly winning 7 of the previous encounters and Zamalek 2. Al Ahly reached the final after a 2-1 victory over Ceramica Cleopatra, while Zamalek advanced by beating Pyramids on penalties 5-4. The two sides also met last month in the Egyptian Premier League, with Al Ahly coming from behind to win 2-1. Under Danish coach Jess Thorup, Al Ahly aims to add another title to its record haul of 15 Super Cup wins. Malik seeks to end a 4-title drought in the competition and avenge last year's penalty defeat. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin, but before we wrap up, here is a recap of the top stories making headlines this hour. Egypt hosts the Grand Bowl at Abdin Palace, marking its first ever event outside Monaco. Prime Minister Madbouli green-lights trial of Egypt's first high-speed electric train line. And Egypt's net international reserves topped $50 billion for the first time, hitting $50.071 billion in October. For more stories and live updates, follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Qnews EGY. From all of us here, we thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more updates on Qnews.